How's it going, everyone? This is your host, and you're watching this channel. Now, we've talked about the possibility of bringing back dinosaurs before, but now new study claims that scientists may have found a way to edit dinosaur DNA from preserved cells and bring them back from extinction. Now, if this can actually be done, what are the implications of us being able to do such a thing? Should we even be allowed to do such a thing? And does this actually work? Well, let's find out. The question of whether or not we should bring dinosaurs back to life is an interesting one, and to be honest, I don't think there's any single right answer. There's definitely pros and cons, and in this video, we're gonna be taking a look at both sides of the argument. But first things first, can we actually bring a dinosaur back to life? And the answer is sort of. There's no easy way to do it, but we are getting closer. But the method that scientists are looking into using would be controversial, to say the least. There are two main ways that scientists have been trying to bring dinosaurs back to life. The first is through cloning, and the second is through genetic engineering. Cloning seems pretty straightforward. All you'd need is dinosaur DNA and a host animal to clone it in. But unfortunately, dinosaur DNA doesn't preserve well. It breaks down quickly after death. So usable DNA is hard to come by. And because of this, most scientists have shifted their focus to genetic engineering. This approach involves using modern genetic engineering techniques to splice dinosaur DNA into the genome of a living animal, essentially creating a chimeric creature that has both modern and ancient DNA. And while some scientists believe that this is theoretically possible, it would still require a lot more research and development. And because of this, many experts believe that it will remain just science fiction for the foreseeable future. But in a new study published in the journal PNAS, researchers claim to have discovered a new way to revive dinosaurs by editing dinosaur DNA from preserved cells. They haven't actually done it yet, but they say that it can be done with current technology. So does this mean that we'll be seeing Jurassic Park style scenarios within our lifetime? Well, maybe. But before we get into that, let's talk about the ethics of bringing dinosaurs back to life. There are a lot of ethical concerns surrounding the idea of bringing dinosaurs back to life. Some people believe that it would be unethical to create a dinosaur just for the sake of doing so. Others worry that dinosaurs could pose a risk to humans and the environment. Still, others wonder whether we have the right to bring back a species that has been extinct for millions of years. These are all valid concerns, and they're definitely worth considering as we move forward with this research. However, I think it's also important to remember that science and technology are developing rapidly, and what seems like science fiction today could become reality tomorrow. So it's important that we have a conversation about the ethics of bringing dinosaurs back to life now, so that we're prepared for when the technology becomes available. So here's a quick look at both sides of the argument. First, let's consider the potential benefits of bringing dinosaurs back to life. Dinosaurs roamed the Earth for over 165 million years, and they were incredibly successful creatures. They were able to thrive in a variety of environments, and they were able to survive mass extinctions that wiped out many other species. By studying dinosaurs, we can learn more about how they adapted to their environment and what factors contributed to their success. We may be able to apply this knowledge to help humans better understand how to survive in extreme environments or how to recover from disasters. Additionally, dinosaurs are simply fascinating creatures, and I think most of us would agree that it would be amazing to see them alive again. It would be a privilege to witness these magnificent animals in their natural habitat and learn firsthand what life was like during the age of dinosaurs. On the other hand, there are also some very real dangers to consider. Dinosaurs were large, powerful creatures, and they were at the top of the food chain. They were predators, and they had few natural enemies. If dinosaurs were brought back to life, they could pose a serious threat to humans and other animals. They could also disrupt the balance of the ecosystem and cause widespread environmental damage. For example, if dinosaurs were released into a forest ecosystem, they could quickly eat all of the plants and then starve, or they could trample and destroy the habitat of many other animals. This could lead to a mass extinction event that wipes out many species. Another concern is that dinosaurs could carry diseases that are harmful to humans or other animals. Since dinosaurs have been dead for millions of years, they could potentially carry ancient diseases that we have never seen before. These diseases could be highly contagious and cause widespread illness or death. Additionally, dinosaurs could introduce new diseases into existing populations of animals, leading to outbreaks of illness. Finally, there's the risk that dinosaurs could simply get loose and cause massive amounts of damage. If dinosaurs were being held in captivity, there is always the risk that they could escape and cause widespread destruction. Even if dinosaurs were kept in secure facilities, there is still a chance that they could break free, or that someone could illegally release them into the wild. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to bring dinosaurs back to life is a difficult one. There are definitely some risks involved, but there could also be some great benefits. I think it's important to have a public conversation about this issue so that we can make an informed decision as a society. What do you think? Should we bring dinosaurs back to life? Let me know in the comments below. So that brings us back to the original question. Can we actually bring dinosaurs back to life? And the answer is kind of. In the new study, researchers use computer modeling and genetic analysis to determine whether or not dinosaurs could be brought back to life using preserved cells. Their answer was yes, but it would be very difficult. The reason for this is that dinosaur cells break down quickly after death, which makes it difficult to find intact cells that could be used for cloning or genetic engineering. Additionally, even if scientists were able to find intact dinosaur cells, it would be challenging to extract dinosaur DNA from those cells. DNA is made up of 4 chemical bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. However, over time, these bases can degrade into different molecules that are chemically similar. For example, cytosine can degrade into uracil. This makes it difficult to sequence dinosaur DNA because scientists have to distinguish between the 4 original bases and the degraded versions of those bases. This is where the computer modeling comes in. Researchers used a computer model to simulate the degradation of DNA over time. They used this model to estimate the amount of time it would take for dinosaur DNA to degrade into different molecules. They then used this information to develop a new method for sequencing dinosaur DNA. Using this new method, researchers were able to successfully sequence DNA from preserved dinosaur eggs. They found that the eggs contained a mixture of dinosaur and bacteria DNA. While this is not pure dinosaur DNA, it is still valuable because it can help scientists better understand how dinosaurs lived and what they were related to. It can also help them develop new methods for extracting and sequencing dinosaur DNA. Overall, the results of this new study are exciting because they suggest that it may be possible to bring dinosaurs back to life using preserved cells. However, it's important to remember that this is still just a proof of concept. Scientists have not yet attempted to bring back a dinosaur using this method. Additionally, even if scientists are able to extract dinosaur DNA from preserved cells, it would still be challenging to clone a dinosaur. Cloning requires a complete set of dinosaur DNA. However, it's unlikely that scientists will ever be able to extract a complete set of dinosaur DNA from preserved cells. As mentioned earlier, DNA degrades over time, so it's unlikely that scientists will ever be able to find a complete set of dinosaur DNA. This means that cloning a dinosaur will likely remain impossible. Instead, scientists may need to use genetic engineering to bring back a dinosaur. This would involve splicing together fragments of dinosaur DNA and inserting that DNA into the genome of a living animal. This would create a chimeric creature that has both modern and ancient DNA. In conclusion, the idea of bringing dinosaurs back to life is both exciting and terrifying. While it would be amazing to see these creatures alive again, it's important to remember that they were predators that could pose a serious threat to humans and other animals. Additionally, they could also disrupt the balance of the ecosystem and cause widespread environmental damage. The decision of whether or not to bring dinosaurs back to life is a difficult one that should be approached with caution. It's important to have a public conversation about this issue so that we can make an informed decision as a society. Do you think we should bring dinosaurs back to life? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. This has been your host, and you've been watching this channel. If you want to learn more about dinosaurs, check out the links in the description. And if you want to support the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.